What's up, y'all? Thanks for tuning in to Spring into Purpose, our empowerment week. We are so excited today to have Myriam Joseph. How you doing today?
Great, feeling wonderful.
Awesome. Myriam is a entrepreneur. She is the founder and CEO of Kindred by Design, as you can see. We are so excited to have her today, and we're just going to dive right in. Our topic today is building your personal brand. Building your personal brand. And so, Myriam, give us a snapshot of your story. Like, where were you born? Where are you from? Like, tell us about your journey.
Okay, well, I'm from the city so nice they named it twice, New York, New York. And born and raised in New York. Lived, most people, well, if you know New York City, you know it's 5 boroughs. So I've lived in 4 of the 5.
Wow.
And so, yes, New York through to the core.
Awesome. So did you go to school in New York or?
No. So being from a big city, I wanted to change. So I started off at Atlantic Union College. I went 180 degrees in the opposite direction. I wanted something small and intimate. And so I started there, and I was a modern languages major. At the early start of my education, I started off in a bilingual school, French, English. So I had an affinity and ability for languages. So that's what I knew I wanted to pursue. So studying modern languages, my mom let me know it's one thing to speak. Unless you're working at the United Nations, you better have some business skill to go with it. So then I transferred to Andrews and got a degree in French for international trade.
So what inspired you to start your own business? Like, how did you get there?
Well, how I got here was I didn't jump from school to running my own business. I spent many, many years in corporate America. So my background is I functioned as in administrative capacities, but within the framework of global finance. So having studied French for international trade, that means I worked in financial organizations, global financial organizations, throughout my career. So I worked with the French, the Swiss, the French Canadian, from banks, like corporate institutional banks, that means not retail, and to hedge funds, to pension funds. And I did that for a long time, and it was lucrative and rewarding in a compensation way, but it wasn't rewarding as a person. I felt there was more. There was something more meaningful, more enjoyable, more rich that I could be doing. And also, it's part of the seeds that my parents sowed into us from an early age. My mother was very independent and ambitious woman, and my stepfather was he imparted a lot of wisdom. And he said, if there's ever a time where you have an idea of something you'd like to pursue, a business you'd like to start, he said, you owe it to yourself to try.
Wow.
You can always fall back on your skills, but you owe it to yourself to try to start something that's yours, that you control and that you can pass on. So at a certain time, finance was getting to be much. It was taking a toll on my personal health. And I said, this might be a good time to transition into something else. So how did I get into eyewear now? That's a separate story. Yeah. So when I was thinking about starting a business, I was thinking, what are my natural abilities? What do I enjoy doing? What am I passionate about? So I thought about it, and it took me back to languages. I always enjoyed speaking, learning languages. I always enjoyed traveling. And I've been doing that from an early age. I've been doing that, like I told you, modern language major. I started at 17, just taking off. It was part of my coursework, actually. I lived in Europe as part of my coursework.
Nice.
So I wanted to couple that with something business-wise, and I had a medical need. I need to wear glasses.
Wow.
I don't see without them. And so I tried for 3 years to become a LASIK candidate for laser surgery. And at the end of the 3 years, my optometrist said, listen, even if you have the surgery there's a good chance you'll need reading glasses. You'll need glasses anyway later in life. Just
give it up.
choose. Just give it up. And so I said, you know what? If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it all the way. And I want to look great. I want to see clearly, but I want to look and feel amazing. And I don't want any of the stuff that I see. It was just boring. So I said, let me try and see what I could find. So years of research, market research, building relationships, wearing things that people liked and would ask about. And so I just decided to take a leap of faith. But that's just to let people know it was a lot of prayer also. I didn't just jump. It took a long time.
Wow.
Before
That is amazing. You literally found your passion out of a place of pain. Like you had a need, like you could not get LASIK surgery. And you're like, well, if I got to wear glasses, I want some amazing glasses. And you didn't find anything that you liked. So you ended up being the solution that you were looking for. That is powerful. So how can people find their pain points and pivot their pain points into their purpose? Like, what advice can you give to somebody if I see a need and I want to be the change? What can I do to make that change?
Well, I think the first thing you think is, can I do this better? Can this be done better? How would I like this to be done if I was the customer? What would I like to wear? What would I like to offer? What message do I have to share with the world? I think that's where you start. You start with something you're passionate about, something that really matters to you, and then you carry that forward.
That's awesome. So I want to ask you more about Kindred by Design. So your frames look amazing, by the way. Like, I'm having frame envy right now. Like, I mean, forget Warby Parker. Like, I need to get me some Kindred by Design for real.
Yes, you do.
So,
totally
like,
look you up.
Yeah. So your frames are so unique. Like, how are your frames made? Who makes them? Are you making them in your living room? Like, what's going on?
So I don't make them myself. What I do, I call it curation. So I travel the world and I meet designers, craftspeople, artisans who are actually making these frames themselves. So as a matter of fact, I was supposed to be in Milan for the last 2 weeks, but COVID-19 completely changed plans.
Right.
So I travel the world and I meet these so interesting people who are, I think it's passion almost to a point of obsession with design, creativity, putting something new and different in the world, putting something awesome in the world. And I classify them as creatives versus merchants. So merchants, they put something out and they sell it as long as people want it. And it's a business. But for these people that I work with, these designers, they're really creative. It's something they want to try. It's a new material. It's a new technique. And once the collection is sold, it's typically not remade. So it's really, I classify it as art. It's wearable art. It's eyewear art.
That's amazing.
And
so it's rare.
It is. It's limited edition. Just about everything I carry is limited edition. And the funny thing is, when I'll start to wear a frame, I might get looks like, ooh, that's a little odd. And then as it grows on people, they'll ask, right? But sometimes if you wait too long, it could be sold out. And once it's sold out, chances are it's not coming back.
Right.
So that's what I do. I want to put something wonderful out into the world. I want people to see clearly, but look amazing, feel great, and be present. I think glasses have that ability.
So my next question is, what makes entrepreneurship so challenging yet so rewarding?
Entrepreneurship is unlike any other experience, I find. The reason for that is, in my years of being an employee, your job is defined for you. There's a job description. There are tasks that you are expected to execute in a manner that they will line out. And you might work with the different functions of the business to achieve those ends. I call that Myriam 1.0.
Hmm.
I feel entrepreneurship requires Myriam 2.0. So it really requires a shift in your thinking. You're not just executing tasks, you're thinking about strategy.
Hmm.
You're thinking about, it's an internal work. You have to evaluate your strengths. There's an adage that says, develop your strengths, outsource your weakness.
Hmm.
So that means you have various business disciplines. You have sales, marketing, legal, accounting, business development, administration. When you become an entrepreneur, all those functions are now yours.
Mm-hmm.
You have to figure out, what's your brand going to look like? What's your logo going to look like? What are your company values? What's your mission? What's your goal? All those things now become your responsibility. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to be proficient at all those things.
Hmm.
You do need to understand them and then maybe outsource the parts that you're not so strong in.
Right.
So I would say that's the challenge of entrepreneurship, but it's only a challenge, and challenges are there to be overcome.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's the reward to entrepreneurship? The reward for me is, I don't need to be pushed. I don't need to be motivated. I don't need some kind of external accelerant
Mm-hmm.
to get me to do what I want to do. Like, this is something I'm passionate about. This Kindred by Design, the branding, everything about it is something I'm so energetic about each and every day. I almost don't need an alarm clock, because
Wow.
I get up actually, I make my to-do list the night before.
Mm-hmm.
I get up in the morning, I spend time with God, and then it's, let's get to it. I'm so
Mm-hmm.
excited to do what I'm doing. And I'm so grateful to God to have this opportunity to do this thing and to experience it at this time in life.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, why is branding important, and how can we who are listening begin to build our own brand?
Branding is important because my understanding of branding is amplifying a message.
Hmm.
It's assuming you have something to say, something of value to share, and telling people about it. So some people think branding is social media, branding is digital media.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. Those are tools you use to get your message out.
Right.
You can be branding just as hard and strong in your personal interactions. I personally think I'm stronger in person than I am on social media.
Hmm.
I'll tell you, if I go out, there's been so many times that my communication has started before I've said a word.
Hmm.
People will see something, a pair that I'm wearing, and say, oh, I love those. Where can I get them? Or where did you find them? Or I just love how you coordinate this and that and how you pull that together. And that becomes my opening to talk to you about what I
Right.
do,
Mm-hmm.
or to slide you a card, or to invite you to my next event. So the importance of branding, it gives you the ability to share your message. And how do you build your brand? I think the key to building your brand, I think, is authenticity. Your brand is an extension of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
It's who you are. It's nothing you assume. It's
Mm.
nothing you try to be. It's nothing you even put effort. It's who you are when you're not even thinking about it.
Wow.
And so the importance of building your brand is building yourself, building up your internal competency and understanding. There will be times where you as an entrepreneur, or I as an entrepreneur, am racked with doubt. Will they like this new concept?
Mm-hmm.
Will they go for it? Will they understand what I'm trying to convey? There's doubt, there's fear, there's self-questioning. At those times, you're going to have to build those internal mechanisms to say, I am good enough. This is worth sharing. I believe in it. God believes in me. I was called to do this, or I feel strongly about it. Whatever it is that led you to that point, you're going to need to draw on that. and live that, and then it'll come through. That's the power of branding.
Wow. Thank you for answering that question with such insight. Wow. So you mentioned branding is amplifying a message. So as Christians, we have a brand and we are often branded, and sometimes our brand is not too appealing to people who aren't Christians. So what can we as believers do to improve the brand of Christianity?
I think we as Christians, now this might seem counterintuitive, but I think the doing is secondary. I think the being is primary. I think when you are connected to your source, connected to the living God, meaning there is a vibrant relationship, meaning you're spending time, you're getting to know him, his spirit is infusing you. I think this by default creates a change in you. The person you were. Was it Paul who says, if any man is in Christ, he is a new creature. New creature. All old things have passed away, and behold, all things are made new. I think that's a daily process as you're in God's presence. And as he's transforming you, I think the best thing a Christian could do is to be authentically the person that's being transformed. Like, I don't assume traits that I don't yet have. I have a lot of negative traits still working through, and I don't sugarcoat them because I'm a work in progress. And as non-believers, I have non-believing friends. They've noticed the change, the gradual shifting. And I think that makes us more relatable because we're not walking on water.
Right.
And make it more relatable because we're not taking one loaf and feeding 5,000. We're not making those miracles at this point. Your life is the testimony.
Yeah.
How you're experiencing, how you're walking it out. And I think once that's in place, then the doing takes care of itself. Yeah.
Well said. So I have some bonus rapid fire questions for you. So in the next 10 years, where do you see yourself? What would you like to accomplish with Kindred by Design?
In the next 10 years, I'm going to be a force in the industry. I will be a force in the industry. I will have a very popular Netflix special. Yes, I am speaking this into the air. I'm going to have a Netflix special in which I travel the world and I tell the stories of these eyewear makers. I tell you the story of Nina Moore, this brand that is made in Spain and based in Barcelona, and how this man and woman put together this frame made of wood and the 32 steps it takes to make it.
Wow.
I'll tell you the story of different designers. Lucas de Stijl, a brand that makes my leather frames, and they only make 3 in a day because it takes so many steps to make a frame. It's so many stories out there behind the things that we wear, and we don't know them. So I'd like to make connections. So in the next 10 years, Netflix, I'm coming. Eyewear industry, more people are going to know about Kindred by Design. It's going to be a force. It's going to be so wonderful.
Awesome. I look forward to seeing that on Netflix.
Yes.
So my next question is, do you think that virtual reality will disrupt the way society does things in the future? Or do you think VR will only be used by a small percentage of wealthy people? Or do you think like people will be getting eye exams from home, like with virtual reality? Like, what do you think about that?
I think it's a definite. I think it's a must. Because if you look at it, not to date myself, but early in life, I didn't start with email. There was no email for everyone. There was no cell phone. There was one phone with a long cord that you dragged into another room so you could have a private conversation. Right. Now you have a phone in your pocket and everyone has one. I think technology is a force that we can't stop. We have to understand, and we have to understand how we can use it to our benefit and to share the gospel with others, how to use it the way we want to use it. VR is no different. And I think there's already technology out there to do eye exams through virtual reality. There are already companies working on that. They're working on it now to service individuals in rural areas who
Mm-hmm.
can't get to an optometrist or
Right.
eye care professional. So that's already happening. There's
Mm.
no sense in, what was it? Spock, I think he said, resistance is futile.
Mm. Yeah.
There was a character on Star Trek who said, resistance is futile. Just learn it and keep it moving.
Awesome. So I have a question. There is some selfish intent behind it, but how does Kindred by Design work? Like if I want to buy a pair of glasses from your company, what's the process? Like, what do I do? Where do I go? Like, help me out. Just walk me through it because I'm
Sure,
interested in getting a
absolutely.
pair. So,
Yes, absolutely. Let's get you all fitted out. So there are a number of ways to interact with Kindred by Design. So we have a website. It's an online boutique where all the frames are available. And so it is possible now to select your frame and to select your lenses. And when I say that, I mean if you're a bifocal, if you're wearing progressives, we have those options. And they're pretty intuitive. They're just menus you can click through. So you'll see right there the options that are available to you and the cost of it. And you can get a complete pair of frames and lenses online. Also, I'm so happy to share that by the end of this month, we'll also have a physical location at 37 Trinity Place in Manhattan in the Wall Street area, financial district. So you can come there and interact with us there. We're also on social media. So on Instagram, Kindred by Design _official. We're there as well. We can interact through DMs. You can reach out. There's no problem. We'll get back to you and we'll sort you out and get you looking fabulous.
yeah.
Elevate your frame game.
Right.
Yes.
Upgrade your frame game. So
Exactly.
listen, it is so important for us to build our personal brand. And listen, as a public figure, I think I should invest in Kindred by Design, and I'm gonna solicit your help in doing so, so that I can also elevate and amplify my message.
If I can share something with you, Justin,
Yes.
that's the majority of well, at least when I started out, that's who I was working with. People who value their appearance because they're in front of an audience. So I've had entertainers, executives, entrepreneurs, public speakers. It's people who have to put their best foot forward. And it's not just people in those categories. It's anyone who cares about their appearance and wants to be present. When you walk into a room, you don't want to be ignored and you don't want to be invisible. And that's what glasses help you do. So I'd be so happy to help you get that started.
Thank you so much. So you mentioned your website, Kindred by Design. Are you on social media, on Instagram or anything? Like, how can we keep in touch with you?
Okay, so you can keep in touch through Instagram, Kindred by Design _official. I'm also on Facebook at Kindred by Design, and we have a budding YouTube channel. Don't judge me yet because it's just starting.
Okay.
Which is also Kindred by Design.
Awesome.
And so we'll post our videos and maybe event footage there.
You have heard from Myriam Joseph, the CEO and founder of Kindred by Design. Please check her out and her company on social media and their website and upgrade your game, improve your branding. If you want to reach out to her, if you have other questions about entrepreneurship or Kindred by Design, if you want to buy some frames like me, holler at her. Myriam, thank you so much for being a part of this empowerment experience. And we look forward to all the amazing things that you will accomplish with your endeavors and through this business. And so thank you all for tuning in. Take care. Spring into purpose.
Yes. Take care, everyone.